This video is presented by Western and Southern Financial Group, a game plan for your financial future. Every great team starts with a strong foundation, and your future should too. With life insurance built like a championship roster, Western and Southern helps protect what matters most so you can focus on winning today while planning for tomorrow. Whether you're just starting out your journey, building your dynasty, or ready to retire like a champion, Western and Southern has the right play for your life stage. Visit westernsouthern.com to get your free life insurance quote today. Western and Southern, built to win.
We have finally made it to the wild card weekend of the NFL playoffs, and of course, we're going to make some money during wild card weekend as well. Ben Linsey, Mason Cameron, Max Chadwick right here. Going to break down some of these matchups for you guys on wild card weekend, some of the matchups that we like during these games as well. And Ben, you were telling us earlier how you're kind of looking at the pressure rates for both offensively and defensively in these wild card matchups and how they could kind of give us some edges in the best bets of the weekend.
Yeah, I mean, you win and lose games in the trenches a lot of the times, and sometimes we don't focus on that. But I think with a lot of the data we have, we can kind of shine a light on which offenses handle pressure well, which offenses don't, and then conversely, the matchup they're in these wild card games and whether these defenses they're playing are going to make them uncomfortable. So all the bets we have here kind of are viewed through that lens and these pressure matchups and which player props, which game markets you can kind of capitalize on some of those with.
Yeah, so let's start off with the huge rivalry game that we have in the NFC wildcard playoffs, the Packers and the Bears. What's a bet that you love in that matchup?
Yeah, this rivalry's coming back. It hasn't really been much of a rivalry for a decade plus, but we've had some good games already this year. We had the Classic where the Bears got the onside kick and ended up winning the game. But I think when you look at those two games between Green Bay and Chicago, Green Bay has really controlled those games, especially early. And a lot of that is the Green Bay offense has been excellent from a clean pocket this year. When defenses don't generate pressure, they're second in EPA per dropback from a clean pocket this year. And this is a Bears defense that has struggled to get pressure consistently. They're 29th in pressure rate. So kind of the way I want to capitalize on that here is betting Jordan Love over 222.5 passing yards. And when you look at Jordan Love from a clean pocket this year and his individual performance, he has a 94.6 PFF passing grade from a clean pocket. That's second in the NFL behind Matthew Stafford. He's averaging 9.2 yards per attempt from a clean pocket, which is second behind only Sam Darnold. And this is a Chicago defense, like I said, that has struggled to generate pressure consistently. And Green Bay, they rested up a little bit in Week 18. They got the chance to give some of their guys some rest. Josh Jacobs, Zach Tom. And this is also a Bears defense that has struggled giving up big plays and explosive plays downfield. And this Packers offense, that's what they want to do. They want to push the ball downfield. Jordan Love is tied for third in the NFL in deep completions. So I think the concern when you're looking at Jordan Love's passing yardage over is that you might get some volume issues if this turns into a slow game where the Bears are able to run the ball, the Packers are able to run the ball. But I still like the over because I think they can be super efficient. Like I think this is a game where you can see Jordan Love push 10 yards per attempt and clear this 222.5 yardage number.
Yeah, he has been phenomenal this year, right, Mason?
Yeah, and we've seen, and it's so hard to cover all their guys out there. They're getting Jaden Reed back, and he's been fantastic for them. You've got Watson on the outside, Dobbs. These guys really push the issue and make it so that he can really operate from the clean pocket. Jordan Love is the guy that makes everything happen, but it's the rest of these weapons that really take that to the next level. And while the Bears defense has been better in coverage over the back half of the season, this is just a group that is going to be a tough group to handle every single week.
Absolutely, yeah. So if you remember, you see those premium stats right there. By the way, that's available to you guys right now with a PFF Plus subscription, which is available right now for 30% off if you use a promo code HOLIDAY30. So make sure you guys take advantage of that sale right now. Mason, let's go to another NFC wildcard game. We got the Rams and the Panthers. What's a bet that you love in that matchup?
The last game, everybody obviously remembers because the Rams went down shockingly, and here we are back again. They're 10.5-point favorites on the road, and it makes sense when we look at some of their pressure numbers and how they play when clean versus the Panthers, who really have had struggles pressuring the quarterback this year. They're 31st in pressure rate. The Rams are third in EPA per dropback when left clean, so they're going to be able to operate their offense to a lot of success and do whatever they really need to do, and that's going to lead to some big numbers. I anticipate them being ahead by quite a bit throughout this game. So when we look at this, I don't expect that previous matchup to be the rule. I expect it to be the exception to the rule. And when you look on the other side of this thing, the Panthers, they aren't really a prolific passing offense. They're sort of near that bottom third of the league, both clean and pressured, but they actually rank a little bit higher when pressured, so they are dealing with that decently well. The Rams, like I said, 4th in pressure rate. Altogether, I think you see a game where you're going to get some volume from Ted McMillan. He has been incredible, and he's been the guy who they look to when the pressure does bear down on them. He leads the Panthers in targets under pressure this season at 32. That's a top 15 mark in the NFL. And per our PFF Key Insights, which you guys can get from our player prop tool with a PFF Plus subscription, Tet ranks 17th among wide receivers in target rate when pressured. So I think that you're going to see an opportunity where he gets a bunch of passes and a bunch of volume. So I actually really like him to go over 4.5 receptions in this game. And when we look at the back end of this Rams defense, their coverage has dropped just a little bit over the last half of the season. They're 23rd in receptions allowed this season, and over the last over the last 5 games since the start of December, they're bottom 10 in open targets allowed to wide receivers. So I see this being an opportunity where the Panthers do have to press the issue through the air, which, Ben, we've talked about quite a bit over the last few weeks, trying to sort of catch the falling knife on this Panthers offense where they can throw the ball. They've just really been reserved to do that. In a do-or-die situation like this, I definitely see that being the instance, and they're going to go to their top guy in Ted McMillan.
Yeah, makes a lot of sense. Ben, let's go to the final NFC wildcard game that we've got with the 49ers playing the Eagles. What do you like in that matchup?
Yeah, we're just going to go Eagles minus 4.5 on the spread. And I've kind of been hesitant with this Eagles team all year. I think there are offensive concerns with this Eagles team that have been talked about frequently. But I just think they have a massive advantage in the trenches in this game. And these are both offenses that have been pretty sensitive to pressure. When you're looking at those EPA per dropback differences, clean pocket versus pressured, these are both top 10 teams in the NFL, which means much better clean pocket, worse when pressured. The difference is the Eagles get pressure at the 5th highest rate in the league. The 49ers are bottom 5. Right? So I think this is a situation where it looks like Lane Johnson is coming back for Philadelphia. That really helps their offense against a beat-up 49ers defensive line. You've got Kalia Davis's day-to-day. Their linebackers, Tatum Bethune is out now, so they're really thin in the front 7 there. So I think the Eagles should be able to have some success, and we've seen the last couple of weeks Chicago and Seattle move the ball up and down the field on this 49ers defense. And then on the other side, Brock Purdy in this 49ers offense has looked good since he's coming back from injury for the most part. But this Eagles defense, kind of similar to what we saw with Seattle in the Week 18 game, very good. And they haven't really faced a ton of great defenses so far this year. Brock Purdy has faced just 3 defenses in the top half of the NFL in EPA per play this season. Seattle twice, Cleveland, and Jacksonville. And when you look at those 4 games only, Purdy has a 74 PFF grade. He has 6.8 yards per attempt. He has 5 touchdowns, 5 interceptions. You look at the other 5 games where they've played teams like Tennessee, Indianapolis, Arizona, 91.7 PFF grade, 8.3 yards per attempt, 15 touchdowns, 5 picks. So this is an Eagles defense that is playing well, maybe not quite as well as we saw last season, but still top 5 defense in the NFL. And I think they're going to be able to impact Purdy. I don't know if the San Francisco defense is going to be able to impact Jalen Hurts the same way.
Yeah. So what do you think of that?
Well, and I mean, Trent Williams being out in this game is a huge, huge loss for them. He's been fantastic, and them being able to operate this offense at such a high level when clean is due to him keeping them clean as much as he does. So that's going to be a huge loss if he's not able to go. It's something that we're going to have to watch as the injury report comes out throughout the week to see if he's going to be able to go. But yeah, that would be a huge loss for them and a huge play into what you're saying right here.
And it seemed like Williams... it seemed like him and Pearsall would probably be coming back, and then Shanahan's injury report was not super great early in the week. So we'll have to see on those 2 specifically.
All right, so the Eagles, Ben likes them to continue to defend their Super Bowl trophy from last year and beat the San Francisco 49ers by at least 4.5 points in this wild card round. Mason, we promise there are AFC games going on this weekend as well. Let's talk about the Texans and the Steelers. What do you like in that matchup?
Well, we're going to cap off the wild card with this one right here. And I'm actually going to be leaning towards Jonnu Smith in this game. It's another one of these where we look at Houston. They're second in pressure rate at 41.9%. That is phenomenal. That means they're getting to the quarterback all the time. Pittsburgh, on the other hand, they have the 5th highest difference between when they're clean versus when they are pressured. Now, the biggest beneficiary of that has actually been Kenneth Gainwell, who he already has played a huge role in their passing game, and his 22.5% target rate is 9th in the NFL. But 5.5 receptions, it poses a little bit less value in this market when we say, yes, they're a little bit lower. He is going to be getting those. But we have another option a little bit further down the board that I think presents more value, and that's Jonnu Smith over 1.5 receptions. Because Jonnu's right there with him when he talks about who's targeted when they're under pressure. Now, a big loss for this offense in Pittsburgh has actually been Darnell Washington being out of the lineup. When we see Jonnu Smith, his target rate was about 13% with Washington in the lineup, but out of the lineup, it raises about 4.5%. It's up to above 17%. And that's actually the second highest when they are under pressure. So I see this being an opportunity where the Steelers want to get the ball out of Rodgers' hands quickly. And when you see Jonnu, he's a guy with a pretty low ADOT. He has the lowest ADOT among Steelers wide receivers and tight ends, about 4.5 yards. So that's going to be an opportunity for Rodgers to get the ball out of his hands. We only need 2 receptions to go over this line. And if we look at this mark against similar defenses, which the PFF player prop tool actually tracks, he is hit 9 of 10 against similar defenses. So this is an opportunity where I think that he's going to see quite a bit of work. I wouldn't be surprised to see him go quite a bit further over this number.
Like that a lot.
Yeah, the Jonnu Smith targets have been abysmal for the Pittsburgh offense this year, but he's getting them. Right? Yeah. So I do like over 1.5 receptions here. Arthur Smith, man, he loves them. He's even giving them tosses out of the backfield.
Giving him carries.
I like him to get the ball at least twice in this game.
All right, you heard it right there. Our best bets for Wild Card Weekend: Tedero McMillan over 4.5 receptions. Jordan Love over 222.5 passing yards. Eagles minus 4.5, and Jonnu Smith over 1.5 catches. Once again, all of this available to you guys right now with a PFF Plus subscription, which is, again, 30% off right now with the promo code HOLIDAY30. For Mason Cameron, for Ben Linsey, I'm Max Chadwick. Enjoy this wild card weekend that we have in the NFL.
Everyone's got takes. Numbers have truth. And the truth is, most people are betting with emotion. Sportsbooks feed on it. TikTok gurus sell it. The hype machine runs on it. That's how you lose. PFF is different. You're betting with winning data. The same data trusted by all 32 NFL teams and the sharpest minds in the game. PFF betting tools take every prop, every matchup, every angle, and run them through our custom models. Built on the best football data in the world. What comes back is your edge. Simple, sharp, and built to win. Want to go deeper? PFF puts a pro-level analytics department in your hands, giving you the same insights teams use to find every advantage. Build your game plan with matchup analysis. Project every snap, every matchup, and every edge before kickoff. Because the smartest plays start long before Sunday. Hit rates show how a player performs against their prop and against defenses built the same way. It's the data that gives you real confidence in every pick. Next, Key Insights translates PFF data into the story behind every matchup, giving you the why that powers your bets. From coverage schemes to defensive looks, it's the context that turns raw numbers into winning decisions. When you're ready to take action, filter through every prop on the market and focus on the opportunities that matter, by game, matchup, or value. Then, shop for the best available line in your area and tap your book of choice to place the bet instantly. Everyone's got takes, but now you've got truth. Bet with data, win with PFF.